exercise science is one of the few fields. First, you just get a degree and you leave, but you just learn it. You don't get the application of it. Exercise science is one of the few things where you learn it, but then you have to progress to something else to show application and to master it, which makes you a human being, a better human being in society, not just an educated person.
One of the things that I'm struggling with here is Virginia State, and Craig knows. Craig's one of my students back there, and faithful student, comes to class and works hard. Is that Virginia State University has been really big on sport management, and here I come in here in August saying, hey, I want to start an exercise science program. And so been a lot of opposition to it. Students don't really want it. I think some students are starting to warm up to it. And we had it on the table all the way up till yesterday. They were going to start a minor in exercise science. And the courses were pretty much approved. It still may go through, but really we don't really have a major. Degree says health physical education. We really don't have a sport management major either. It's just these teachers have built up all these classes and call it a concentration in sport management. So I was going to do the same thing with sports exercise science. And then, of course, look at all the other HBCUs and see what they're doing. Likewise, like you're right on target. It's like we need to get more students in exercise science and start putting them out in the next 10, 15 years. I think you'll see more African Americans, Hispanics that are, going into the field of strength and conditioning. But I think when you come up to the finish line and you don't have the classwork, and if you don't have the classwork, can't get the job.
Major League Baseball is well represented by minorities and head strength coaches. Well represented. Major League Baseball.
Oh.
Yeah, they've done a very good job. The number, especially with Hispanic, Latin coaches, plus the influence of playing Spanish. So there's a number of head coaches that are Latin. There's two of the head coaches in Major League Baseball also African American. Alan Thomas, Chicago White Sox, a great guy, super coach, and Kansas City Royals coach is also an African American. And then the Oakland A's used to, not anymore. They let him go, but it's now Bobby Leo. But there have been a number of African Americans, the opportunities for African Americans in Major League Baseball, and the minorities quite strong.
This is kind of a question that I'm asking you. Since you've taught the exercise, the strength conditioning class, about how many African Americans would you say have taken that class in the 12 years that you've been teaching it? Yeah, so that's it. If it exists, I think they'll take it. So.
Well, I don't think that people go to that next level. For example, when I was with Dr. Gaines at Norfolk State and majoring in health and fitness and exercise science, we were there, but the opportunities to go to that next level, some of us did not take the opportunity. So it's all about the career fairs. It's all about the partnerships and that networking that's going to have that African American student to go to that next level, because sometimes they're like, well, let me just finish school and get a good government job. That was my focus. And so I'm working full-time for the federal government, but at the same time, I love what I do as a strength coach. So now you're finding that it's like a tug of war. It's a tug of war now, and I think that's where a lot of us are, especially coming out of high school and college, is that it's that tug of war now. But do I want to do this? I love what I do in the field of health, fitness, and exercise science, but I want to make good money. And I think it was said, well, if you think about making a big paycheck, this is not the field for you, but helping people, because that's what our focus is. And I think with the high school coaches, I was calling around last week, and I was asking, do you all need a strength and conditioning coach? And they said, well, we already have one on staff. And I was like, oh, who? He said, well, the head football coach. I'm like, okay, do you know what I specialize in, and do you know how the benefits of a strength and conditioning coach can maximize performance of the team or individuals on the team? And it was like, well, yeah, this head coach does this and that. So I'm like, okay, but that's why I see the problem is it's really not introduced at the lower level. And if it is, it's not really encouraged, because I feel by the parents and by others in society, making that that good money, that big paycheck is, and it's really discouraging those from going to the next level because they say like only like 1 out of 100 people go to the NFL or NBA. So I think that's really discouraging.
One of the largest growths right now, this past year, the NSCA has been very active with the U.S. military. We developed a program called TSAC, Tactical Strength Conditioning. And as part of this program, in fact, we have a national meeting March 9th through 11th in Las Vegas. And over 200 military personnel will be there. But we've created this past year 100 jobs alone with the U.S. military at the managerial levels as well as strength coach level. And these are working with the elite special force units. And the government GS jobs, paying at GS 12, which is between $80,000 to $100,000 a year for strength coaches. And the benefit of that is that this is a government job, as you mentioned. And interestingly, they're making a run at some of the professional coaches in Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball strength coaches do not make a lot of money. They range between $60,000 to, I think the top guy is $135,000. If you're with the Yankees, though, you're going to make a lot of money because they're in the playoffs every year. The strength coach generally gets voted the full share of playoff money. So last year, the strength coach made $300,000 bonus. But with a lot of these coaches, because the travel schedule is so heavy, and that's nothing to consider, is if you raise a family, and your family's got to be always number one, the idea of traveling 81 days a year is going to be very difficult. So a lot of these coaches now with young families, they're looking into the military, and the military is looking after them to be managers. In fact, one of our employees at the NSCA just took a job in Hawaii. Not a bad job. I think about 80 grand working in Honolulu. A single guy. I said, listen, you don't want it, let me know. But it's you know, the opportunities right now for strength coaches, the profession is growing. But one of the things we had a meeting in January that Rodney was at was looking at, you know, if you take a look at rosters of NFL coaches or even Division I, very rarely you're going to see a guy over 55 as a strength coach. It's very rare. Many people do not retire in normal retirement age from strength conditioning. It's generally a young person's profession. Although more and more we're seeing older people, guys go through that as in a career, but it's not that common. And what coach is looking at, what am I going to do to it at the end of the day? And right now the military may be a pretty neat option because you're not going to deploy. It's a civilian position working on base. And these are pretty neat opportunities. They require a tremendous amount of expertise. You're training an elite group of individuals, a highly motivated group of individuals, and the opportunities for you maybe are expanding. And we're doing similar work with police and fire. So the opportunities for strength conditioning professionals is going to expand. This is a young profession. It really is. You know, if you take a look, when I was coaching at the University of Connecticut, doing my doctorate and being a strength coach, I went from being football to working primarily with basketball. There was not a single basketball coach, and this is between 1988 and 1992, there was not a single basketball coach in the NBA, not one strength coach in the NBA. Now every team has at least one strength coach in the NBA. So it's still a young profession, it's still growing. So you know, there are going to be opportunities out there. One of the things is society. We have problems in our society, it's the gratification. So you know, if you're willing to do the hard work, the opportunities will be there for you. There's no promises, but no one can ever make a promise to you. But there are opportunities there, and I think it's a major worthwhile to tell people about. It's not an easy major. There's a heavy-duty science, but there are opportunities there, not just in sport. High school, for example, the strength conditioning profession is going to get big in the high schools in the next few years. We're working hard with high school federations and requiring certified strength coaches. Now, if you're majoring PE and want to be a strength coach, if they hire you in the state of New Jersey, that's an extra $5,000 to your paycheck by serving as strength coach per semester as a high school coach. But we're looking to bring in people. I know a friend of mine at the university in Minnesota, a high school gym teacher, a PE teacher. His primary job is the weight room. He's the strength coach for the school. Doesn't teach any other classes besides that. And that's his job. And more and more, that's where this profession is going to go. And we're working with groups. And we just met this morning with the executive director of the President's Council of Physical Fitness that we're going to go co-sponsor an award, the Strength of America Award for high school programs. It's more of an inclusion, trying to get kids involved with activity in the strength conditioning program. Instead of testing how fast they can run or how high they can jump, we're testing why you're getting your kids in the weight room. And that's pretty neat. The Strength of America Award, the NSCA and the President's Council of Physical Fitness. So we'll get Michelle Obama to do something about that. not called gym teachers, but physical education instructors.
Have her do a PowerPoint.
I'm sorry?
Have her do a PowerPoint.
There we go.
But the shift in transition in strength and conditioning, it's making it smart, just like everything else with the exercise science and the health sciences. I was telling Dr. Hoffman earlier that, you know, now for PE majors, it's a requirement for them to take a strength and conditioning class, you know, because a lot of them are not certified. So now they're making it part of their degree program requirement, whereas before, just 2 years ago, they said no child left behind, so now you have to have a teaching certification to teach in high school. You can't hire a strength coach because of that. So now they're starting to understand everything that's going on and how it affects it at the high school level and the middle school level, and not just childhood obesity, but just motor development. You know, Rick Howard was speaking at a conference back in August saying how kids were trying out for teams and they couldn't do simple tasks like throw a baseball. You know, so everything that's happening is happening for a reason, and this is the group that they're looking for to make that impact, not just at the college level. And one of the other things is everyone thinks it's glamorous to be a college, Division I college strength coach, or to be an NFL or a pro strength coach, but the things that you want to do at that level is actually being asked out of coaches at the high school level. So if you really want to make that impact, you know, that door is open.
One of the biggest problems I see with strength and conditioning is there's too many ways to be a strength and conditioning coach. You want to be a doctor, there's only one way to become a doctor. You want to be an athletic trainer, there's only one road to be an athletic trainer. To be a strength coach, one of the highest paid strength coaches in the nation is not even certified. There's several of them. It's a good old boys network at the Division I football level and now the basketball level. They're hiring people because they know them, or maybe they're a good football coach, and so they can help on the field as well as in the weight room, so they're getting doing, you know, rolls out. And it's got to get to the point, and I don't know if it ever will in my lifetime, but it's got to get to the point to the athletic training profession has respect. Athletic trainers are aligned with the medical community, with the insurance providers. So they, you know, if you polled 20 head athletic trainers across the country, their salaries would not be very different, you know, at comparable universities. If you polled 20 head strength and conditioning coaches across the country, you'd see this. You know, the guy at LSU is making $200,000, the guy at, you know, Georgia's making 80, the guy at Vanderbilt's making 60. You know, then it's that way all the way across the country. You know, and it's got to get to the point where it has respect, and maybe it's aligned in that medical community also. I just wrote a chapter in a book talking to doctors and physical therapists about the needs for that collaboration and communication and work as a team. And that's the way I work with my training staff. You know, we're teammates. You know, and that's why we all work for the athletic director. We don't work for coaches. I don't work for a coach. I support coaches. And I think it needs to be that way all the way around the country. A football coach shouldn't be the one hiring the strength coach. It should be the athletic director. Because the football coach has way too much pressure on him to run the games. He's going to hire somebody who he thinks can do a good job in the weight room, but can maybe help him on the field. He's got ulterior motives a lot of times. So I think it's got to get to the point where there's got to be a certification that's not just open to anybody who wants to take it. There's got to be a curriculum that you have to follow, just like athletic training or just like a medical doctor or a physical therapist. I can't go take a physical therapist exam. I can't go take an athletic training exam. I can't go take an MD board exam. But all of those people can come take a CSCS. There's got to be a certification that says you have fulfilled these stringent requirements to now sit for this exam to be a strength and conditioning coach. And there's not one yet. And so therefore, the exercise science major, the criminal justice major, you know, there's so many majors that can come just get a CSCS and say, now